Changing the platen cowl sill. Start by pressing the settings button and then enter the password SERVGCR. Press return. Scroll down to hood height settings. Press the start button and now enter 300. Press the green tick. The platen will now lower and it should stop about 300 mils from the grill plate surface. With the 4 bolts removed, you then move on to the shoulder bolts. 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. When you undo the bolts, you've got to do them one at a time, but you're only supposed to turn one for 2 turns and then you move to the next bolt as shown. And then you'd move to the rear. If you insist on doing one bolt all the way until it's out, you'll snap the bolt. Now that the bolts are all open and clear from the platen, we can now move it. We're going to raise the platen arm using a battery, which gives you both hands to fit the sill. I'm going to do this using a battery that's below 24 volts DC. Okay, we're going to connect it to the SIB connection for the actuator. The reason we do this one is it includes all of the safety switches. So with the battery connected, we're going to connect the other terminal and you'll see the platen raise up. You want to raise the arm until the slack is taken out of the cables, but without adding strain. Okay, so now you can see that you have a clear opening and you don't have to hold it with your hands. We'll now remove the old sill in the picture and replace that with the new sill. So we're just going to change the 2 over. Okay. So we're going to peel off the old sill. If it breaks like that one does, you just pull it all out. Otherwise, you just pull it straight out and slip the new one on. So with the old sill removed, you can now see the groove that we're going to put the new sill into. Now we're going to install the new sill. It's important to ensure the sill sits in the groove all the way around so that when we tighten the platen cowl back on, it doesn't have any bumps. We'll now bring the cowl sill back, or the cowl down to the platen element so we can start redoing the bolts. Stop about a finger depth away and that will allow you to start the threads without too much pressure. So, okay. Before tightening up all of the bolts, just start each thread loosely. This will ensure the platen comes down level. As you can see, it's slightly off center at the moment due to the middle bolt. Same as when we were taking these apart, when you put them back together, you have to do all 3 bolts evenly. So the back and the front. Once all 3 of these are done up, then you would put the 4 bolts back in. When you do these up, it's important not to over tighten them because you will snap the bolts. You should, if you feel that the thread is loose, put a small amount, so 1 drop of blue Loctite. When it comes to the final tightening, all you want is enough force that you can use 1 finger. If you have to use more than that, you're going to over tighten it, and as it heats up, it's going to snap the bolt. Now that the 3 shoulder bolts are fully tightened, it's time to put in the 4 U-bar holders. Remember the holes at the back and the slots at the front. Same as with the shoulder bolts, when you do these up, it's not essential that they're done up very tight, they just need to be nipped up. And you should ensure that they're lined up to allow the U-bar to fit in line. It's important to line these up and just tighten up. If it becomes too tight to put aligned, go back half a turn. Once the platten's been reassembled and everything's back on properly, you can plug the unit back in and you can power it back up. Remembering to plug the actuator back in on the SIB. The grill platen should lift up and go back to the home position. You can now re-gap the grill and continue usage. Start by turning the grill off and unplugging it so it's safe to remove. After that, we'll then remove the 4 bolts that hold the U-bar. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll rotate around.
Before we undo the platen completely, we're just going to slide on a new cowl sill. When you look at the sill, it's an L-shaped sill and the L bit should be down. So you have the flat on the top and then you have the little lip on the underside. Okay, so we're going to do this to reduce the amount of load lifting while you're doing this process. Okay, the cowl sill is now just sat there resting, and now we can carry on undoing the rest of the element.